All right, team, it has come to this. Here we are, final moments. We're taking inventory. We know that at the top of the list, we talked about price. And in terms of price, everything is level playing field. Now, it's a fact that Komplete 13, whether you're buying a la carte or in the full package, they take the W in that regard. Doesn't matter if the instruments are more relevant to you or not. They are offering more content, so in that regard they are going to get brownie points. Of course, this is very subjective. If you make music that is, heavily leaning towards like 80s Juno sounds or what have you, then Arturia is a dead giveaway. So this all really depends on where you are, what kind of music you make. In terms of space, without question, Arturia takes the boat because of their patented technology, how they emulate these instruments. They somehow found a voodoo magic way of saving an insane amount of space. Again, with Arturia V8, 20 gigabytes or so. You buy Komplete 13 standard, it's 200 gigabytes. We go to the next level, Komplete is somewhere in the 545 gigabyte range. It's ridiculous. So space, I got to give it to Arturia. In terms of relevance, this is where it really is up to you. The question is how long will I be able to use these instruments? How long will I be able to apply them in my workflow? And it just depends. Are you more performance oriented? Are you somebody that uses MIDI? Can't really answer this one. I will say that Arturia gives a lot more by way of, in-app tutorials and multi-presets. So I could give it to them, but if you're more of a modern artist, maybe you write hip hop and trap, you may be better off with Komplete just because of the sound sources that they offer. So can't really answer this one. I'll leave it up to you. Move on to usability and organization. Without question, Arturia is also going to take the W here simply because they have a better preset browser. I believe the sounds are better in general. There are more standalone versions, which I think is very, very pertinent to today's music creative. And on top of that, my user experience is just a lot clearer and easier. I've had zero issues since downloading Arturia, and my experience with native instruments is not exactly the same. What is your experience? Which one do you like better? Which one seems better? Maybe you don't own them yet, but just after your research, after watching various videos, where do you stand on the issue? For me, the synthesizers, again, I got to give it to Arturia. They did something really special. The fact that they were able to cover so much ground in so little time, they really are on the cutting edge, and so I definitely have to give the warm, authentic, classic sound to Arturia. Now, when it comes to modern, versatile tools and drums and stuff like that, then there is no question Komplete 13 takes the boat on that one. So it really just depends on what you're trying to do. I think composers that want to invest one time only, they want to buy something and they want to use that for a long time, I think they're probably better off with Komplete, especially if you're writing orchestral stuff. But other than that, I really think everybody else, especially beginners, hobbyists, will benefit way more from Arturia. Again, if I could go back in time, I would have never bought anything except all the Arturia collection, the effects collection, any and all synthesizers that they had, some preset packs, and I would have hit the ground running. The effects, without question, I believe Arturia absolutely smashes the competition. So that is that. And lastly, in terms of workflow, I'm going to give this to Arturia as well. The in-app tutorials that they offer are unprecedented. They make me so happy. But on top of that, let me show you something else. Let's say I open up a synthesizer for the very first time. The very first thing that I'm going to be prompted with is a message to set up my MIDI controller, which is really great. I love that they're thinking about the end user in mind. And so once I set that up, and the next thing I get is a message saying, "Hello, thank you for installing this Arturia plugin. Would you like to take a quick tour of some of its features?" Now, why do I like that so much? Again, for beginners, we need that kind of care. We need that kind of attention to be able to kind of walk and crawl in this space. And of course, eventually you crawl, walk, run, and then fly after that. So that's a pretty neat feature. But what excites me the most Other than, all the stuff I've mentioned, in-app tutorials and, the history tab and multi-presets, is the fact that Arturia is probably the first company that I've ever seen give credit to their sound designers. So not only can you sift through all the obvious, instrument types and things like that, but now let's say you're into the work of Lily Jordy. You can actually find sounds that work with the designer of your choice, right? So if I click on the name here, you can see all the particular plugs or presets rather that Lily Jordy has developed. So if we sift and find Matt Pike, all of a sudden here's the work of Matt Pike. So for that very reason alone, I have to give the final brownie point to Arturia. This is a very subjective conversation, obviously not saying that it's factual in nature. I'm just giving you my thought process, how I like to think about instruments. Given the experience that I have in the last 8 years, if I could go back, I certainly would buy Arturia, and I would probably negate Komplete 13. And for some of you, I just want to say that probably the right choice is to buy both of these and to use them both in tandem. What's important here is to have a conversation, to learn together, to grow together. And if we disagree, let's teach each other why we disagree. I think that's what's important here. If you agree, if you have any more feedback, please hit us up. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you have anything to add to the conversation, again, we think that's super valuable. I wanted to thank Arturia for just being such a great company. I wanted to thank Mix Innovator for giving a guy like me a platform like this to be able to learn and grow and to have fun doing what I love every single day. Thank you so very much for supporting the cause. My name is Eddie Grey. I'm going to sign off on behalf of Mix Innovator. I want you to stay happy, stay focused on what you want. Keep taking your music to the next level, one day at a time, one brick at a time, and one thought at a time. All right, guys, take good care of yourselves. I'll catch you on the next one, and let me know what you decide. What is better for you, Arturia V8 or Komplete? All right, guys, take good care. Bye.